Okay, this afternoon we have a proclamation. Whereas Kiwanis International is one of the largest service organizations in the world, with more than 551,000 members of all ages and abilities in more than 80 nations. And whereas the members of the Kiwanis Club of San Marcos are devoted to improving the world one child and one community at a time by seeking primacy to the human and spiritual rather than the material values of life. And whereas in addition to improving the lives of children in San Marcos and in communities around the world, Kiwanis Club members promote the development of community leaders, positive role models, intercultural understanding and cooperation, and opportunities for fellowship, personal growth, professional development, and community service. And whereas the first Kiwanis Club started its service in Detroit, Michigan, USA, in 1915, and where the Kiwanis Club of San Marcos held its first meeting on February 15, 1923, and whereas February 15th of 2023 marked the San Marcos Kiwanis Club's 100th anniversary, and whereas Kiwanis is dedicated to helping the youth of our community through service projects, such as the FLAG program, which benefits the San Marcos Library Cinema Reading Program, awarding scholarships to graduating high school seniors, supporting Friends of Scouting, the Hays County Food Bank, Hays County Youth Livestock Show, and sponsoring youth groups, such as the Key Club at San Marcos High School and K-Kids at Lorenzo Des Valle Elementary, as well as maintaining the McBride Wilson Kiwanis Youth Camp located on the Blanco River. And whereas the service provided by the Kiwanis Club of San Marcos will continue to have a positive impact on our community and citizens, and whereas the City of San Marcos benefits from the efforts of a proficient group of caring and involved volunteers, and whereas the City of San Marcos would like to recognize and thank the San Marcos Kiwanis Club for everything they do for our community. Now, therefore, I, Jane Hewson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of San Marcos, Texas, do hereby proclaim Thursday, August 7th of 2023 as San Marcos Kiwanis 100th Anniversary Day recognition, and do hereby call upon all residents of the City of San Marcos to render support to the members of this organization and to make themselves aware of Kiwanis International, whose members this day are providing meaningful service to our homes, schools, and community. Thank y'all for what you've been doing for many, many, many years. Here's this. Hold it.
I'm Kelly Wiggum, and I just want to thank everybody for coming today, and I want to thank all of our members, many of them who've been members way longer than I have, for everything that you've done to keep the club going and keep it alive and well, and I can't wait for the next 100. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think the banner's fine, we get the proclamation where you can see it, but not covering your face. That works, right? All right, everybody looking this way, make sure I can see everybody here. All right. There we go, ready? Big smiles, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Big couple
All ready? Remember, the cameras are rolling. This really is my favorite part of the job. A proclamation. Whereas Rose Kirk Brooks, a respected resident of the city of San Marcos, reaches the milestone of 90 years of age on August 18th. And whereas Ms. Brooks has been tireless in her efforts in the areas of education, civil rights, women's rights, and preserving our local heritage, and has generously shared her experience, skills, and vision with the wide range of municipal and civic boards, commissions, agencies, and committees on which she has served. And whereas Ms. Brooks, who worked for the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, continues to actively support participatory democracy and is credited with registering more voters than any other individual in Hays County. And whereas Ms. Brooks, an early and enthusiastic celebrant of Juneteenth, was a founder of the annual Juneteenth Scholarship Cake Auction, which for almost 50 years has helped young people pursue their educations. And whereas Ms. Brooks, a student, maker of history, and woman of faith, is a proud graduate of the San Marcos Colored Children's School, later known as the Dunbar School, and one of the longest-serving congregants of the landmark Jackson Chapel United Methodist Church, an anchor of the historic Dunbar neighborhood, where she serves on its soup kitchen ministry and is involved in planning for a new church building. And whereas Ms. Brooks' contributions have brought her recognition as a member of the first class of the San Marcos Women's Hall of Fame and a San Marcos Civil Rights Trailblazer. And whereas Ms. Brooks takes great and loving pride in her family and continues to serve as a resource, an example, and an inspiration throughout our community. Now, therefore, I, Jane Hewson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of San Marcos, Texas, do hereby proclaim the week of August 13th through the 19th of 2023 as Rose Brooks Week, and do hereby call upon the people of San Marcos to recognize and appreciate the contributions made by Rose Brooks and encourage its residents to celebrate her accomplishments and emulate her example. Rose, thank you for all you've done. You know I love you and appreciate you so very, very much. And with that, I present that to you. Do you want to say anything?
You want to say something?
Oh, I gotta hold it too. I want to thank you for today, for honoring me here today. I don't know if I've done all of these things. And I have done a lot of things. I graduated school at the colored school, so we don't make it anything else but the colored school. And then I left and went to Austin and graduated up there, because my daddy made me take me up and just drop me off. And I had to find a place to live. But it worked out. And I'm so thankful about my sorority sister here, my daughter here, my grandchildren, my daughter that I live with and take care of really take good care. And I think my son is back behind me. I only got one boy and I got two girls. So I think all of you here, my sister's here somewhere. right by me and my son-in-law back there. It's just me and my sister. All my brothers gone, and so it's just my younger sister. I think I'm 17 years older than she is. Thank you so very much for everything today. Thank you.
Thank you for all you've done for our community.
Let's see, my two ladies in the back with glasses on this side, you guys step to the front row for me? You can leave your glasses on, we just need you up front so we can see you. We'll swap spots, there we go. There we go, that's great. We appreciate it, thank y'all so much. Oh, yeah. Got everybody? Everybody see me? All right. I'm gonna take a few with this camera, and then I'm gonna swatch cameras and do another. We go, big smile, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do a few more here. 1, 2, 3. Last one. Let me make the swap real quick.
Thank you, appreciate you.
All right. Big smiles again, looking this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What's happening here? Did I mess something up?
You can switch it to manual right there, by your finger right there.
Which side? Here?
Right in the front, front left, right there's a little
The
manual.
shutter's not going. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Last one right here. 1, 2. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3.
I appreciate
I
it.
think we got it.
I do like the way I can say it.
Right there.
We gotta go that way. No. Well, no, that's litigation. So that's where the Don end is. Well, I really think we're just in all the time. Go there now.
I know. Ain't it great? All right.
We needed to say Martian to be, he knows something.
A proclamation. Whereas the board members of La Sociedad Cuauhtémoc in 2018 decided to apply for a Texas Historical Commission marker for Cuauhtémoc Hall and sought help from members of the Council for the Indigenous and Tejano Community. And whereas the research discovered by the CITC found that in the early 1900s, the community struggled to gain improvements in educational and social services. And whereas as a result, La Sociedad Mutualista de Cuauhtémoc, is that close enough? Okay, was established. And whereas the present organization began in 1918 and continued to grow. In 1942, the first board members were President Juan S. Flores, Vice President Juan Arredondo, Secretary Daniel Rojo, and Treasurer Crescencio Gonzalez. And whereas their purpose was to promote cultural and historical events, support future generations with scholarships, assist those in need, and celebrate family events. And whereas their main goal was to establish a community gathering place. And whereas the property in Victory Gardens was bought and a building erected named Cuauhtémoc Hall after the last Aztec emperor. And whereas Cuauhtémoc Hall, known as El Parque or El Salon, quickly became the area's largest venue for Mexican-American gatherings. And whereas the society remains a unifying force and a significant part of San Marcos through its scholarships, musical performances, weddings, political events, and social gatherings. Now therefore I, Jane Hewson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of San Marcos, Texas, do hereby proclaim the 15th day of August 2023 as La Sociedad Mutualista Cuauhtemoc 81st anniversary and Texas historical marker dedication for the city of San Marcos, and do hereby call upon all residents of the city of San Marcos to recognize the historical importance and endorse the Texas Historical Commission's efforts to recognize this place in Texas history with the dedication and unveiling ceremony that was held on July 21st of 2023. It was a lovely ceremony. I was glad to be there, and thanks to all who made that happen. Thanks to the originators who saw the need, and it has continued its original mission all these years, which is wonderful. I'm so happy you've got the marker.
So we want to thank everyone. Again, we were able to celebrate last month, like Mayor Houston just mentioned, but we're happy to, again, celebrate with the community and thank the community members who have continued to support our efforts in supporting the community, right? Everything that comes into the hall goes right back to the community. And so we want to thank everyone. And actually, before we take the picture, I would love to have anyone who's interested in being in the picture to join us right now, because this is not just about the members that run the organization every day, but about the community who's actually supported us in doing so. So if anybody else wants to join, we'd love to have you in the picture. I also want to say thank you to the Hays County Heritage Association, who was the vehicle to even getting into the marker conversation. So thank you, Linda, for being here and helping us get there. So yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yes, y'all were so fabulous to allow us to use your space after, I'll just say, the freezes, in order to help provide supplies to many in our community, and we know we can always count on y'all. So thank you.
I think that's where I saw Selena last. The King says almost always been. Yes, yes.
All right, everybody look at this camera first. We're gonna go with the cell phone here first. All right, my turn. All right, looking this way. Do smiles for me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, all right. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, and 3. We got it.
Congratulations. Yes, yes, yes. And I've been there on like something for my son and we'll do some other conversations later. Thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you. Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson. Thank you so much.
Okay. And a proclamation. Whereas Dr. Charles Johnson joined the San Marcos community in 1976 as a new assistant professor at then Southwest Texas State University. His community service began with the San Marcos Kiwanis Club, where he served as the club's secretary-treasurer for several years and advanced to become the Kiwanis president, and later as the lieutenant governor for the Central Texas Kiwanis District. He's been a member for 47 years. And whereas Charles continued his community service as an adult advisor for Boy Scout Troop 1954, he's led many high-adventure trips for area scouts that included 100-mile backpacking trips to New Mexico, Yellowstone National Park, Central Colorado, and the world-class caving trips into Mexico, and his famous gold mines and ghost towns tour of Colorado. And whereas his Boy Scout service continued as the creator and continuing advisor for a one-of-a-kind medical exploring post designed to serve both high school and college-age students. He's most proud of this program that has brought the principles of scouting to area youth and college students. Almost 1,000 former members of the student organization are now physicians, nurses, and other health professionals across the country and the world. And whereas Dr. Johnson has also served as a member of the Hays County Community Emergency Response Team, also known as CERT, he began by training his medical explorers as EMS backup for university football games and continued his CERT service as a trainer in medical disasters for CERT volunteers throughout Hays County. And whereas continuing as a community servant, Dr. Charles Johnson is an active member of the San Marcos Lions Club, where he's responsible for disaster assistance and response by Area Lions Club. His Boy Scout Medical Explorer post has helped the Area Lions Clubs so much with their many charity events that Lions Club International has chartered the Medical Explorers as an Omega Leo Club within the Lions International family. And whereas Dr. Johnson's community service has greatly benefited thousands of San Marcos, Hays County, and Texas State students. He recently submitted the names of 4 of his Medical Explorer students to be awarded the U.S. Presidential Volunteer Service Award. Each student earned the Gold Award for their community service, which requires a minimum of 250 hours of community service within a 12-month period. And Dr. Johnson is an example of a full-time community servant, and so are his students. And whereas Dr. Johnson is continuing as a strong community servant in multiple roles, his life is an example of how a person can be a servant leader and help others. His community service has greatly benefited thousands of San Marcos, Hays County, and Texas State students. He is an example of a full-time community servant. Now, therefore, I, Jane Houston, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of San Marcos, Texas, do hereby proclaim the 21st day of August 2023 as Dr. Charles Johnson, Outstanding Senior Citizen Volunteer, and do hereby call upon the people of San Marcos to celebrate Dr. Johnson in this important event by recognizing the crucial role he has played in our community. Thank you, Charles. And I've known you for a long time, and I have seen many, many of these things that I knew, and also your outstanding service at the university. So thank you for all that you have done. We appreciate it.
I'm greatly humbled by the recognition, and I'm thankful for all those who work around me and help me and enable me to continue in community service. But I'm especially thankful for the young adults that I'm able to help develop a heart for community service. So thank you for everyone, Lions, Kiwanis, Senior Citizen Advisory Group. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your recognition. So thank you.
Step up to the top tier, and everybody that's on the bottom layer, can we get a little tighter together?
We're good friends.
Yeah. Lisa, can you go this way? I think I've got everybody under your height back here. Can you step down next to those here?
Hey, you're on.
You want to get in?
No, it's okay.
We can personalize the picture from all.
Come on. Okay.
There we
I
go.
will ask them to take a
Just step down to the bottom tier. There you go. And you, sir, you can go. You can step back up. Of
course.
There we go. Perfect. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yeah.
senior citizen recognition. The others were Harvey Miller, Jeannie Lewis, and of course, now here's number 4 for the system. So thank you, and thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Hang on the wall. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Smith will present. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.